What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, four division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is considered to be top three pound for pound fighters in the world, is the unified super middleweight world champion. He holds the WBC, the WBA, and he's going into a unification bout with undefeated two division world champion, who is currently the WBO super middleweight world champion, British superstar boxer Billy Joe Saunders. With that stated, Canelo Alvarez, 55 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 37 wins by way of knockout. He's 30 years of age. He stands at 5'8" with a 70.5-inch arm reach. He will be taking on Billy Joe Saunders May 8th in 2 weeks. Okay, Billy Joe Saunders undefeated, 30-0. 14 wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age. He stands at 5'11" with a 71-inch arm reach. And they will be facing off May 8th, okay? The weekend following the Cinco de Mayo weekend. With that said, Billy Joe Saunders and his father, they raised a question that the fact that they had an agreement in place that they would have a British judge, United Kingdom judge, a Mexican judge, and a judge from the United States. They wanted to have, judges from, all over so that everything would be treated equal, and there wouldn't be any lopsided favoritism. With that stated, Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn, according to Billy Joe Saunders, he agreed in the contract that this would be the case, but now Eddie Hearn has informed Billy Joe Saunders that they will not be allowed to have United Kingdom judges in attendance, and so that the Texas Commission, won't allow it. So they're going to have either all United States judges, a mixture of United States judges and Mexican judges, whatever the case may be. But Billy Joe Saunders and his father are not happy with the way things are unfolding. And Canelo Alvarez, he caught heat of this, and Canelo Alvarez has responded, and he stated that Billy Joe Saunders simply needs to stop whining and crying about the judges, because Canelo Alvarez, he stated that he's not even going to need the judges. He says that Billy Joe Saunders is going to choose to come in the ring and run around the ring. He says, yes, he's a southpaw and he's going to give me trouble because he's a big southpaw, and he's mobile, and he's slick. He says, but if he chooses to move around and run around the ring, I'll be prepared for that. And if he chooses to stand in the center of the ring, I'll be prepared for that too. But I don't plan to have the judges play any type of part in this fight, in the outcome of this fight. I plan on knocking out Billy Joe Saunders in this fight. So he needs to focus on getting to the 12th round to allow the judges to even play a part. He stated that if he's not focused, he's not going to get, he has no, meaning Canelo Alvarez, he has no plans to go to the 12th round anyway. So he don't take the judges into consideration anyway. With that said, we know that the judges have been favoring Canelo Alvarez in the majority of his fights. We know in his 2 fights with Gennady Triple G Golovkin, former unified middleweight reigning world champion. He's currently the IBF reigning middleweight world champion right now. They fought twice, and Canelo Alvarez, he got a draw the first fight. This was back in 2017. It was September 2017. Canelo Alvarez, he got a draw in that fight, and a lot of people felt like Triple G should have gotten a nod. And then they fought again in September of 2018, and Triple G came up short again. Majority decision victory in favor of Canelo Alvarez, in which most people felt like Canelo Alvarez should not have gotten the nod. Most people felt like Gennady Golovkin won both of those fights. Then his fight back in 2014, in July of 2014, he fought Erislandy Lara, and majority of the boxing world and most people boxing pundits, they felt like Erislandy Lara clearly won the fight, and the judges didn't see it that way. Canelo Alvarez, he got a split decision victory over Erislandy Lara. Then we know the biggest fight of them all was when he took on undefeated, legendary, iconic, 50-0, the man known as Money, former pound-for-pound king, former 5-division world champion, former pay-per-view king, Floyd Money Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather won every single round, clearly, rounds 1 through 12, but one judge happened to see it as a draw. Even Canelo Alvarez, at the end of the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated, "That's not right. He clearly won this fight." So even Canelo Alvarez was privy, and even Canelo Alvarez was saying, "That's incorrect. Floyd Mayweather clearly won this fight." Then Canelo Alvarez, he let it be known that Floyd Mayweather took him to school. It was a learning lesson, and he took a lot of what he learned from that, and it molded it to what he is today's time. So we know even when he fought Austin Trout, the fight before he fought Floyd Mayweather, which took place in 2013, in April of 2013, and well, they had an open scoring, and they let the score know in the middle of the fight, and Canelo Alvarez was way up on the scorecards in a fight that, at the very least, should have been considered a draw at that point in time. But all the three judges had Canelo Alvarez way up on the cards, which saw Austin Trout, who was undefeated, a slick southpaw, which saw Austin Trout ultimately have to press the fight, get out of character. He got dropped in the fight, then he lost. He ended up losing a unanimous decision victory in favor of Canelo Alvarez. So there's a reasoning for Billy Joe Saunders' concern in this going into this fight, because another reason is Billy Joe Saunders is stating that he doesn't like the fact that they already have a scheduled date for Canelo Alvarez to face off against undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant in September. Now, one thing about that is Billy Joe Saunders, he's not taking too kind of that, but at the same token, Billy Joe Saunders, he had a fight scheduled with Canelo Alvarez when Canelo Alvarez was going in a fight with Avni Yildirim in February. They already had this fight May 8th already scheduled, signed, sealed, and ready to be delivered prior to Canelo Alvarez even getting the outcome to his fight with Avni Yildirim. So it's a similar situation, but Billy Joe Saunders, he's not comfortable with it, okay? Why? Because Billy Joe Saunders has more to lose than Avni Yildirim had, okay? Avni Yildirim, he already previously had a loss on his resume. He wasn't seen as a high-profile fighter, and so not too many people took that fight serious. And Avni Yildirim, he threw a total of 15 punches, so clearly he didn't take the fight serious. So with that stated, Billy Joe Saunders, is in a position where he feels like he's up against, the masses, right? He feels like, he says that the fight could already be won. He feels the fight is already decided. He says that, he could put on a boxing clinic and he don't feel like he's going to get the nod. And Canelo Alvarez, he's letting Billy Joe Saunders know, well, don't worry about the judges because they're not going to play a part. They won't be needed because I'm going to knock you out, okay? Now, I'm hard-pressed to see Canelo Alvarez knocking out Billy Joe Saunders because I believe that at some point in time, Billy Joe Saunders will come in to survive if that is the case, okay? Billy Joe Saunders is a vet in the sport. He's 30 fights, no losses. He's a two-division world champion. He's a slick southpaw boxer. He has respectable power. And if he so chooses, he has quicker feet than Canelo Alvarez. So if he wanted to stay away, he can stay away. I don't know if he can win staying away, but he can stay away, okay? Now, Billy Joe Saunders, he does have the ability to control the tempo of the fight, control the distance of the fight, because he's a slick southpaw that's rangy, okay? And Billy Joe Saunders, that version that showed up against David Lemieux that put on a masterclass performance, he would give Canelo Alvarez all types of problems because that's the style similar to Erislandy Lara that gave Canelo Alvarez tons and tons of problems. And that's the thing that's the concerns Billy Joe Saunders has, is because he has a lot of similarities to Erislandy Lara, except he's bigger than Erislandy Lara, okay? Erislandy Lara is 5'9", but Erislandy Lara may be slightly slicker than Billy Joe Saunders. Erislandy Lara is 5'9" with a 75-inch arm reach, so he has extremely long arms. But Billy Joe Saunders is 5'11", but the importance is his arm reach is only 71 inches. Erislandy Lara is 75-inch arms, so extremely long arms, and he was able to control the distance and the pace of the fight. But at times he did utilize too much of the ring, too much movement, and I think that the showmanship of Canelo Alvarez, clapping his gloves together and say, let's fight, stop movement so much. The fans want to see us fight. Come on, let's go. I think that may have, played a part in it as well, because Erislandy Lara, he just started utilizing too much unnecessary movement. But Billy Joe Saunders, I believe that, he has the ability. I think he has more power than Erislandy Lara. He may be slightly more accurate than Erislandy Lara, but Billy Joe Saunders has had some lackluster performances since his performance over David Lemieux. So we got to see how this plays out. But Canelo Alvarez, he tells Billy Joe Saunders, stop whining, stop crying, stop worrying about the judges because they're not going to be needed anyway because I'm knocking you out. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hey, this is Ebony Bridges, Blonde Bomber, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.